Early one morning in summer, little Miss Magic awoke in the bedroom of Abracadabra Cottage, which was where she lived. She yawned a yawn and got out of bed. She went to the bathroom to clean her teeth.
Squeeze,
she said to the tube of toothpaste. And guess what? The tube of toothpaste jumped up and squeezed itself onto Little Miss Magic's toothbrush. Honestly, Little Miss Magic isn't called Little Miss Magic for nothing. When she tells something to do something, it does it. She went downstairs to the kitchen.
boil,
She said to the kettle, and it did.
toast,
She said to the toaster.
spread,
She said to the knife, and the knife jumped up and spread some butter onto the toast.
pour.
She said to the coffee pot, don't you wish you could make things do things like that? She was enjoying a second cup of coffee when there was a knock at the door.
Open.
She said to the door. And it did. There stood Mr. Happy, looking exactly the opposite.
Oh, you don't look your usual self. What's the matter?
Everything.
Come in and tell me all about it. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes, please,
Pour.
she said to the coffee pot.
Sugar?
2, please.
Lumps. Jump.
2 lumps jumped out of the sugar bowl and plopped into the cup.
Stir.
And a spoon stirred Mr. Happy's coffee.
Now, what is it?
Well, it's Mr. Tickle. He's become absolutely impossible.
What do you mean?
Well, he used to go around tickling people every now and then. But now he's going around tickling people all the time. He sighed. Little Miss Magic looked at him.
It can't be that bad. Cheer up.
And of course he did.
Come on, we'll go and see Mr. Tickle together. Open.
She said to the door.
After you.
And off they set from Abracadabra Cottage. Mr. Tickle was in full cry. What a Monday morning he was having. He tickled Mr. Mean until he moaned. He tickled Mr. Greedy until he groaned. He tickled Little Miss Sunshine until she shivered. He tickled Mr. Quiet until he quivered. He tickled Little Miss Plump until she pleaded, and Little Miss Shy until she sobbed. Not to mention the postman, a policeman, the doctor, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a worm. Ha ha! Cried Mr. Tickle as he spied Little Miss Magic and Mr. Happy. Anyone for tickles? And he rushed up to them, reaching out those extraordinarily long arms of his, with those particularly ticklish fingers on the ends of them. Little Miss Magic looked at Mr. Happy
I see what you mean.
and winked. She pointed at Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long right arm,
Shrink.
she said, and then she pointed to Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long left arm.
Shrink.
And as you remember, when Little Miss Magic tells something to do something, it does it. Mr. Tickle's arms were suddenly not extraordinarily long. They were extraordinarily ordinary. That's not fair! You've spoiled my fun! Well, it might have been fun for you, remarked Mr. Happy, but it wasn't much fun for anybody else,
Come and see me tomorrow.
said Little Miss Magic to Mr. Tickle.
There.
She said to Mr. Happy.
Happy now?
And Mr. Happy smiled that famous smile of his. Oh, I'll say, come on, I'll buy you an ice cream. And off they went to find an ice cream van,
Ding dong.
said Miss Magic. 2 raspberry ripples, said Mr. Happy, laughing. On Tuesday, Mr. Tickle went round to Abracadabra Cottage. He knocked at the door,
Open.
and of course the door opened by itself.
Oh, hello, Mr. Tickle. Come in. I expect you'd like me to make your arms long again.
Oh, yes, please.
Very well.
Mr. Tickle's face lit up.
On one condition.
Oh. His face fell.
You're only allowed 1 tickle a day.
1 tickle a day? Well, that's not much.
Promise?
Mr. Tickle sighed. Oh, promise.
Grow.
And both Mr. Tickle's arms grew back to their original long length.
Now don't forget, 1 tickle a day, or else.
Oh. Mr. Tickle went out through the door.
Goodbye.
She said to him.
Shut.
She said, and of course it did. Mr. Tickle stood outside Little Miss Magic's cottage. Oh, well, he thought, 1 tickle a day is better than no tickles a day. It was then that he saw one of the downstairs windows of Abracadabra Cottage was open. 1 tickle a day, he thought, and a small smile came to his face. 1 tickle a day. And on that Tuesday morning, as one of those extraordinarily long arms reached in through the open window of Abracadabra Cottage, the small smile on the face of Mr. Tickle turned into a giant grin. 1 tickle a day!
She's plump.
He's fat. They're late. And naughty. Tickle.
She's trouble.
Sunshine. We're helpful. Tiny. Neat.
I'm silly.
She's happy. She's little Miss Sunshine.
I'm fussy. I'm greedy.
I've forgotten who I am.
I'm Julie.
It's magic.
I'm me.
Mother.
Dream.
Scatterbrain.
Get the bus.
Splendid impossible team.